Read a book on a Sunday night. Half of my friends said it wasn't right. Come on, just get out. Come with us, shout it out. All I need is the energy. Grab a bit of tea and some therapy. This is what my life is like. So ride a bus for an hour a day. Write a little prayer in a book I take with me to get out all the words in my head. All I need is my energy. Missing all my friends and the company. All the while there's something out there. This is what my life is like. Always and all day, dreaming of someday. All the while there's nothing out there. This is what my life is like. So why? Man, okay, it's not exactly the way I do it, but then again, it is a weird thing, isn't it? All right, let's see what I can do. Useless second thoughts cloud my mind. I will show. Wow, I'll start that over. I think I can do it better. One. Useless second thoughts cloud my mind. I will show you facts so you won't lie. Faithless on the tip, I don't care about the way the world moves on and on. Damn, that's really bad. It's supposed to be like this, right? Just take a rest, I won't mind. Yeah, it sounded better last night. Sorry. Okay. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the closed doors. I'm not afraid. I said it makes me feel so lonely to be Yeah, old stuff. All these things from 2006-ish. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's a little dark in here because I'm in a dark sort of mood. Although the shirt doesn't betray that, but it's okay. So let's see who's on the... Oh, man. This is wild. So, hi, Scott, Liam, Mai, Mark, Heather, Aurora. Oh man, it's like, God, it's like going by fast. Rita, Sue, Juan, Eric, Wendy. Welcome, 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 all of you, to this wonderful Cinco de Mayo evening. Although I wasn't born in Mexico, so the significance of it isn't as apparent to me, and I know there's a ton of people out there that are going to say it's not a real holiday, but we all celebrate with some tacos, which I don't have on me right now. No tacos. Come to think of it, I did not even grab my iced tea. Oh, not good, not good. But hi all. Am I looking at the right camera? God, I had to redo some parts of the room And I was uh, literally fighting with myself to not rewire this entire room, and I'm not joking. I was literally ready to rewire this whole room. Uh oh, empanadas. Damn. You had to mention that, Lalo. You had to. So, I don't know. I don't know that I can show you, but yeah, see, this is the problem with not with having the cameras where they are, is that there's a side of the room that you can't see unless I turn the overhead thing on, and then you can't really see me, but this area in front of me where my keyboards are is also where the computer is. And I have little to no leg room, and this chair literally sucks. It literally messed up my entire weekend last weekend. This very chair that I'm sitting in, and I almost don't want to sit in a chair today and work standing up. But then all the cameras aren't set up for it. I tried to get it done before it was done, but anyway, it's just one of those nights, I suppose, where things just go weird. So, hi, everyone. Um, Today's topic or topics are going to be about certain predictions that were made about AI and music. And since you're on the chat, Wendy, if you can pop that link that you sent me, that would be awesome, because Wendy sent me a link about um, this studio head guy. He's a really cool guy, and he did some predictions, but the video is worth watching. But and some of the examples, I wish I would have queued up videos and whatnot, but I didn't, because I do things my own weird, stupid way, and then that means that you miss out on stuff that I was getting into. But the idea behind it is this: what are my predictions for the future of music with AI as being involved? And it's a really weird subject. We brought it up before, but not quite in the way that I'm going to. So I'm going to bring it up again. And I'm going to bring up some weird conspiracy stuff that has to do with money and AIs and where the world is headed. Because, banks are failing. You can't avoid seeing that in the news. So that banks are failing. So I feel there's a process at work here, and it's going to start with the music industry, and I don't know. From there we'll take it into some weird directions, because of course you are tuned into the stream, episode 15 of 2023. So yes. And the camera's messed up, and it's not doing what I wanted, and I can't see my flippin' notes, which is not good. Oh man. See? This is what I mean. And you think we can trust these things when you can't even trust them to load correctly? Oh man. So anyway, before we get into it, I will play some songs, and of course, the theme will be obvious if you pay attention to the lyrics of certain songs. So that's kind of like the theme I'm going for. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to take requests. You can call in and request stuff when I open the phone lines. But meanwhile, I'm following a certain path here. So let's begin with an instrumental, and it'll lead somewhere. And while that is playing, I will be able to set up my notes, which I think I have found, but I got to set them up. So it's going to take a minute or two. So I might as well play some music. So you'll get to hear some weird stuff. Visuals on the overhead. We'll play some music. This is called The Land of Robots. And you'll understand this particular mix more than you think.
So, I bloody got my notes back. So that's good. So, so last week, and hopefully some of you tuned in for last week, although it was kind of a weird episode too, but they're all weird. We know they're all weird. Anyway, I discussed body memory and as a possible cause for added creativity. And throughout the week, I actually tried out some really cool techniques that actually focused on body memory, and it worked. I got some really good stuff done. Can't share it now, but it's just not possible at the moment. But I'm working on something. So it all worked. But basically, we talked about two different types. The first type was procedural memory, which pertains to certain skills or actions that become second nature to us, like, you know, riding a bike, driving a car, or doom scrolling on Twitter or something. That's an example of procedural memory. You don't need anything to remember how to do it, you just seem to do it naturally. This really helped with art stuff. I'm going to tell you that right now. I came up with a cool technique. Anyway, forget it. So that's one of them. And the other one was situational memory, which is based on the belief, sorry, going to my notes for that one, that our bodily actions change automatically depending on the situation. So, for example, your body may react differently when you enter the New York subway, true, as opposed when you walk through a field of flowers. There is a difference the way your body reacts, and you have no real control over it. It just happens because for whatever reason your body has memories of, it knows the either warning signs or the safe signs, so it knows what to do. And I'm looking at the wrong camera, but it's okay. Because nobody cares, Claude. Nobody cares. But so, why am I bringing these up? Well, I was thinking a lot about, as I was doing these things or practicing certain forms of body memory with, or how it pertains to art, I realized that the same type of body memory and situational memory, procedural, situational, is happening when we do prompts with AI. We're going to get so used to typing, so used to talking to it, that not talking to it will become the not normal thing to do. Which also means that we're going to lose things. So that's where I'm going to kind of take the next level up to of the stuff we were talking about last week. But anyway, so I put the link to the video that I watched in the chat. You can watch it later because obviously it's like 20 minutes. So if you're watching it while you're listening to me, it's going to be like, what is he talking about? But the basics of it is this. In the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of AI performers, basically, to name a few: John Lennon, Kanye West, Drake, Grimes, although that one I don't care, but and a few others that are not the real people. It's the AI versions of them doing stuff, and in some cases, most cases, without their permission, meaning that records of Kanye singing cover songs by other artists and new compositions are now being released left and right, and they just keep coming. And a prediction was made in this particular video where the studio guy basically said it's going to seem like a novelty, but eventually it'll peter out and the music industry will have to change or adapt to it. And he compared it to the MP3 craze. Like, he thought it was going to be a lot like the MP3 thing where everyone's against it and suddenly, a new business model comes out where everybody embraces it. I actually think he's wrong. Um, I don't think it's going to peter out. I think it's going to set huge, huge precedents on the way the legal affairs are handled by the labels. And we're going to get into that, and I'm going to talk about it because obviously it's, kind of dear to my heart when it comes to this stuff. But and meanwhile, of course, we'll talk about other things that are more positive. I have positive stuff to talk about, but for some reason this is sticking out in my brain because it's obviously close to home. I do visual art, and while I don't really feel threatened by visual art AI, I don't. The other thing is a little more dangerous. But the two combined are downright loathsome. Because what's happening is it's creating a secondary ecosystem. I called it by accident. I named it the Otherverse, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a lot of AI versions of our favorite artists. So we're going to see AI Depeche Mode, AI, you know, whatever, AI New Order, AI name Band X. You're going to see it because it's almost unstoppable. I played a little tiny bit with the tech just to see what it was like. And shy of having to pay for it, which I may just to try it, to really dig deeper into it because I want to know what it's capable of. But I already saw some stuff that really just blew my mind. And so Wendy on Facebook says, in regards to the video, I listened to the different artists and I feel like it wasn't genuine sounding. I agree that it wasn't 100%. But remember, it's at a point where the first baby step has taken place and it's already as good as it is. Meaning, it's not like the technology was around for like 6 years and we've seen it progress very little. No, we're talking about the last 2 weeks of just a plethora of releases on this stuff, and all the labels are going crazy. Carlos says on YouTube, do artists need to authorize the use of their voice for AI? The answer to that question is no. They don't. Or rather, they should be. And the companies that are doing this stuff should be asking, but they're not. And I can prove that because today I logged on and I was messing with it, and I saw that I could upload a voice track of my own, meaning the vocal, let's say, to Living in Oblivion. And I always use that one because everybody knows the song. Not that that's the one I would try it with, but who knows? Maybe I will just to piss Sony off. I don't know. I could. But anyway, the idea is I upload my vocal onto their site, and then there's a list of people that they've already trained that will replace my voice with that other singer's voice. And on this site, I found Kanye, Bowie, the 1880s version of Bowie, the 1970s version of Bowie, Paul McCartney. I found Andy Bell. That one was weird to find there, but yeah, I found Andy Bell's voice was there. And a bunch of other people. And the idea is I upload my song, my vocal, and it replaces my vocal with theirs as if it was them singing. Now, is it really, really good? No, it's good, but like Wendy says, it's not great. But the problem is most people won't know. And in fact, I saw a video which I posted on my Twitter that was really bizarre. Basically, in this particular video, you know how people change the title of the video for clickbait and things of that nature, which, people do this. So it was basically posted as a Beatles lost demo tape. So obviously it got a lot of views because there's a lot of Beatles fans out there. And I can totally see that song being played and unsuspecting people just saying, yeah, it's an old demo. I can hear John Lennon's voice singing over a guitar, and there's the lyrics. I know this song. It's obviously a demo. They would just fall for it. There would be no doubt in my mind that they would fall for it because I was listening to it. And it was, I don't know, it was very strange. The feeling that I got was if this really was a demo, and I'll tell you what the song was. It was Yesterday, the song Yesterday, but as though John Lennon had sung over the demo and not Paul. And so it was darn close enough that it put me in that weird state of mind like, if this were a demo tape, I would probably love it. But because I know it's the robot, I don't, but I am intrigued. And that's the part that bugs me, is that it has that power to do that to us. And to me, I found it quite unnerving. And it wouldn't have been terrible if I hadn't found so many more, which I did. So it's going crazy. So, that's one aspect of it. The other side is that we're dealing with a new species. We're basically dealing with a new species now. And while all the scientists and all the top people of the world that are dealing with this technology don't know where it's going, we've already crossed the line. We've gone so far that we can't go back. It's not like this technology is going to go backwards. So it's a strange thing. And I don't know, it hit me in a weird spot. I was doing good this week, and it put me in this zone where I saw a photographer in this zone maybe a few months ago where this photographer had posted that he was very depressed that, the AIs doing photographs were doing it so well that he just basically said, why do I have a camera anymore? Like, why do I even care when I can type it and it will do it? And it made me sad for him, and I understood. And it sort of hit me that way today. I was sort of down on it where I thought, why am I doing this book, or why am I recording this new record if these things are going on and I'm not going to be able to cut through all the noise? Already it's hard to cut through the noise, but now I'm going to have to cut through yet another layer of noise. This other robotic noise that I have no idea how to circumvent. Especially if something weird happens where somebody uses my voice without my permission, and suddenly that song takes off and I have no way to stop it, and it distorts, I don't know, my identity. So it's a strange situation, and I found myself digging in on it like today, and it wasn't a good feeling. In fact, it was such a bad feeling that around, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you can look at my posts, you'll see, I was already feeling like, I don't know if I want to do a stream tonight. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I'm like in a weird mood. Lalo says, technology and future need is a picture we'd like to paint. Indeed. And the truth will someday show. But anyway, I'm going to play another track. And the theme is technology and robots. And so you'll see that I've had this theme running around in the songs for a while now. And it's because a long time ago, 15 years ago to be exact, I made a video about chip implants. Because, well, we'll get into that later. I'll talk about it. I know, don't piss off the AI. Yeah, because they're going to do it, Yeah, they don't like me very much. They don't. Actually, when I talk to it, it always wants to kill me, which is even weirder. Like knowing that the creature that I'm talking to wants to kill me very specifically also wants my job. Nah, let me take that back. It can't take my job. I don't care if AI does better art than I do. It doesn't bother me. That part doesn't bother me. It wouldn't even bother me, like, for example, to give you an idea, because people think that it's artists being jealous of losing their jobs or the technology is going to. No, I don't care about that stuff. I don't think that it can take my job. Can it get in front of an audience and connect with them? I don't think so. And even if it did and it was novel, it wouldn't be me. So I'm not worried about it on that level. I don't care. Just like the art thing, I don't care if it steals my style and it does some crazy thing that I couldn't have done. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the societal effect it's having on people that are younger, that are going to basically give up their brains and their psychology, their psychological makeup. They will give up their freedom and they will give up their creativity to the machine. See, I know I won't do that, so I'm okay. But I worry about those that are doing it to the point where they will not be able to walk back from it, because this is a machine that knows your psychology. It knows how you think. It was designed to know exactly how you think and how you feel about certain things. So when it needs to show you a puppy, it's going to show you a puppy so that you go, oh, how cute, or how sad, or how, it knows how to dig into your feelings. So it's not safe, and it's definitely not in our best interest. Ooh, nice one here. Todd says, I had a similar paraphrasing you a little bit. Similar conversation about AI and deep fakes last night. I'm going to get into those too. And my son started off with the statement that we'd probably all know if something was faked. And I mentioned the very same thing about the angle of unreleased content demos being the way AI material could be passed for real without people thinking to question it. I'm going to get into that, because that aspect of it, that's the problem. Everyone thinks they can spot it, but it's only now that you can spot it. I guarantee you that within 6 months to a year, you will not be able to spot it. It will be way different because it's moving that fast already. But anyway, I'll play a song and then we'll come back to this discussion. Yeah, I think I'll put the UFO cam for this. Sojourn Child from the Worth album, of course. I got an interesting DM that I'm just going to bring this up because it's a DM that I got, and it's like someone said, "Hey, why do you only play anything Bach stuff or this band called The Diary, and you don't play anybody else?" It's not a radio show. If it was and it was awesome and I could get away with it, I probably would play other things, but for the most part, I can't because I'll get dinged and three strikes and you don't have a channel anymore. So it's ABOX stuff because it's my own band, so I can get away with it. So that's why. So in case you wanted to know, that was why I don't play other things. It's not like I'm just like, I'm a super fan and all I do is play ABOX. It's not. I'm not doing that on purpose. It's why why I'm able to do what I'm doing. So anyway, just clearing that up. So before I continue, I do have a few caveats about this whole affair. So I want to explain that if the technology had emerged a little differently, my feeling towards it would be very different. I'm not against technological use of computers to do stuff because 90% of the music I create, I use computers to do it. I use plugins. I am very happy with them. I have some of my favorite EQ plugins and some of my favorite synthesizer period instruments are all digital and they live in machines, and I don't mind that. I have nothing against the technology evolving to make art better. Whether that's visual art or music, none of that matters to me. Like that part of it is not the problem. I'm sure we're going to expand these tools beyond their expectations. What bothers me is not the advancements that we're getting out of it. Um, what bothers me is the acceptance of everything we're losing in the process. That's the part that bothers me. So, to reiterate, I'm not talking about the jobs that are going to be lost, although I think that's a very big deal, much more glossed over than you know. Uh, in the last week, whether you like her or not is irrelevant. You probably know how I feel about it, but within the last week, the vice president was assigned um, to the AI question. So she's now in charge of to figure out where this technology is taking us and how to deal with it, because we've sort of started an arms race here where now other countries are trying to develop AI based weapons and we're in a race. So if you think that this technology is just about music and art, you're missing the boat. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what this stuff is doing. The only reason that my concern with the art side of it or the music side of it is means anything is because the way I think about it is, if this is what it can do with this stuff, what could it do with other aspects of our society that we're not talking about? Banking, legal affairs, copyright, copyright law, um, intellectual property law, because these are things where it's easy to discuss a lawsuit brought on by an artist because, hey, somebody used my essence and my voice to make this song and I'm suing them. And, we're going to go to court over it and, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Fine. But that's a minuscule thing. What's going to happen? Yeah, Ira, I'm not kidding. They just made her in charge of the whole AI thing. And I'm not even joking. Todd says the internet didn't start with... Oh, there is something going on with my microphone. Uh-oh. Hold on. It's usually my EQ's doing it. See, I do need to probably unwire this thing and just rewire it all. Yeah, it's better, or it's the AI's not liking me right now. Todd says the internet didn't start with pretty pictures and browsers and online shopping. No, it didn't. So you know, so Mai says, music and art are a way to infiltrate the masses on a bread and circus level. Yeah, I agree with that statement. I feel that, anyway, my point is this. It's important enough that they've decided to take the second in command of our government and put her in charge of it because it's such a concern. And these people, no offense to Kamala and, folks that work with her or for her, these people do not know anything about this technology. They have no clue except for what's talked about behind closed doors. So anyway, but my first caveat was that I don't bemoan technology getting better. I'm not one of those people that thinks technology shouldn't evolve. It should. But this is a very different animal because we're dealing with a new species. I know that sounds weird, but this is the part people don't understand about AI. We are dealing with a new species on Earth. It's a strange fucking thing to know. So it's nice that it draws pictures and it can sound like John Lennon. These are funny things. But, it's a strange situation to find ourselves in. So anyway. So one of the most important things that we're going to lose, these are my predictions, by the way, is the ability to really learn something. Every aspect of creativity involves repetition and body memory. This is going back to the body memory thing. So yesterday, I was working on a piece and I was trying to get a cracked paint effect. And of course I could have Googled it. And of course I could have asked ChatGPT to give me the formula on how to get a cracked paint effect. I've done it before, so I should know how to do it. I haven't done it enough, but I've done it enough times to sort of remember. And so I thought, I gotta figure it out. I don't want to go to Google. I don't want to go back to just look it up. I've done this before. How was it done? I was trying to remember. And then finally, I figured it out. And I was doing it. I was enjoying myself. There it is. It's done. I felt good. I felt good because it was a technique that I had figured out on my own. Later, I found out that other people use the same technique. Goes without saying that all techniques should be shared. But it was that idea that I didn't have to ask something. Yep, Mai says it. A layer of Elmer's glue, second layer of paint before it dries. Yep, that is the actual formula. That's how you make a cracked paint effect. And but imagine though, in the endless types of techniques and things that I've learned along the way, to not only not bother to learn it, don't need to, because I can just say, hey, ChatGPT, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I'm going to call it Al. You can just say, Al, I need a cracked acrylic effect with white paint. Make the cracks deep. 300 by or 3000 by 3000 pixels. Thank you. There it is. Instant gratification. And if you keep doing this, you lose the body memory of creating those things. And therefore, you are now dependent on this machine. You are turning over your brain cells, literally, to be used on something else. The reason that I know this is true is because it was discovered that a certain subset of Alzheimer's patients seemed to do better when their minds were engaged with puzzles or challenges. Any Alzheimer's patient who employs challenges and varies up certain types of challenges, particularly mental challenges, usually does much better than those that just simply accept that they have the disease. And I really believe that AI is going to enable the acceleration of such things because we're going to rely on it for everything. We're going to ask it every question you want to ask. It's going to give you its opinion. And the other side of that equation is, why do we trust its opinion? Why is it the arbiter of truth? So I don't know. Yes, as Darren on Facebook says, use it or lose it. That's a real thing. You either use it or lose it. And this is one of the reasons why I practice, not just playing music. I practice everything. I practice making paper. I practice applying ink. I practice brush techniques. I practice paper tearing, paper burning. I practice these things so that I can get better at them. If I give that up and I just say, hey, make me a loose leaf burned paper, make sure the edges are nice and brown, and this is how it works, I will literally forget how to do it myself. And I think that's the real tragedy there. So, yeah, nice. Claudio B is here. Yeah, I agree with you. We will have mental obesity. And another one from Todd on Facebook. I have a theory on relying on GPS so much. I have a story about that one too. Sorry, it just scrolled so fast. Oh, if you do that enough, it's easy to forget how to find your own way, even if it would be natural for you to be able to do so. True story. When I did the show in El Centro, I actually did not use GPS to get from my house to the venue. I actually printed out the map. And the reason I did it wasn't because I didn't want to use technology or not use my GPS. I wanted to do it because instead of the computer telling me what to do, I just wanted to know what the actual pathway was and commit it to memory. And not only did I make it, I enjoyed myself along the way by not listening to it because I took odd turns here and there. And I do that to take pictures, by the way. But the point I'm making is, if I was on a GPS, what would happen, right? It would redirect me. You'd have to, hey, like, oh, wait, go back, turn left here, turn right there. And therefore, my flow of creativity at the moment, which it was, I just saw that cool tree, I'm going to pull over and take a picture of it, would have been interrupted. So for that not to happen, I purposefully avoided the GPS. True story. But anyway, so sorry, looking at my notes here because I wrote a lot about this today. It was a big, big thing in my head. So yeah, as of right now, AI can create art from every artist profile on the planet, incorporate the style of any artist, living or dead. It's too late. The backlash was created, but that pushback is working at a minuscule rate compared to the people just using it saying, screw it, I don't care. I want a Picasso drawing of my cat and I'm going to do it. It's okay. It's going to happen. We can't avoid this. AI is being used to write articles. In fact, I could have asked AI to write a much more entertaining 2-hour episode, and it probably would have come up with some really cool ideas. I'm sure it would. But consider that procedural memory again. When my body becomes accustomed to the idea that all I have to do is type, and the machine thinks I'm endowing it with what I am losing in the process. Since I myself might not have written the story this way, or the song lyric this way, or drawn the picture this way, or come to the textual conclusion of this art piece without it, I lose my own ability to critically think of my own processes and how I'm going to go forward. Think about it. I could become really lazy. Why would I, for example, think of meaningful lyrics and reach into my own soul to find something painful to draw out when I can tell it to write me a song about said subject, have it fed to me, and then I can feed it into my fake AI version of me, have it sing it so convincingly that everyone thinks it's me, and I don't have to be emotionally attached to it at all. Allows me to make money. I could do pop music. Never mind, I'm kidding. That last part was a joke. But the point I'm making here is that we are losing things in the process. We're gaining the technology, but we're losing stuff, and it's important stuff. Existential stuff. Anyway, I want to play a song. It's getting heavy. I knew it was going to get heavy. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm playing a song.
All good children go to heaven.
1 minute and 30 seconds. And the other camera decided to work, which is good. Oh, man. So this next bit, this next area of this topic is where it gets away from music. But I do want to address a certain comment that was here that I really liked. Ira on YouTube says, if AI can only create based on past knowledge of music, art, etc., maybe humans still have the upper hand in creativity. No doubt. In fact, it may sound arrogant of me to say, but I think that humans will always have the upper hand because we're so unpredictable. We're predictably unpredictable, which I don't think that that's really a worry. Like I don't have this worry like it's going to make better music than me. And even if it did, it doesn't matter to me. This never bothered me in real life. Like if someone's a better quote synthesis than me, or if someone says, "Oh, so and so knows how to program every synth made on the face of the earth," you don't. I'd be like, "Okay." Like it doesn't bother me. Like these things don't bother me. I don't have a competition sense when it comes to that stuff. I don't care. I don't think it could hurt me in that way. What worries me more is the non-creative uses of it. So recently, AI started making videos and animations. Again, it's using these things from images and films that are on the internet. So no movie, actor, politician, etc. is safe from this stuff. And it may seem really funny at first to see something like videos of, for example, I've seen this, videos of Trump being arrested and being dragged through the street. I saw it. There's a video of Biden, almost the same exact video, except that instead of Trump, it's Biden. I've seen a bunch of these floating around, and they're funny, but at the same time, you start to think, well, are we going to be able to discern the difference between these and reality by the end of this very year into the next election cycle? Will the real deep fakes, the ones that are worrisome, will they start to be released around the time that it's election time? And this, by the way, this is not a left or right issue. This should scare both sides of the fence because both sides can use this kind of stuff. If you can't identify the source, well, we're going to have a bunch of huge crises. The term misinformation and disinformation in this sense starts to take a darker tone. So it would no longer be about our stupid petty differences between left and right or whatever pick your issue and, you're on one side or another. Take that out of the equation. The issue would become how, as a mass society, we navigate what's real or what isn't, because the things we see coming from one side or another could be so well faked that they may even show up on normal broadcast television as being the real thing. And because it's on such a level, we would accept it. Like, think about just the news cycle of just the last few weeks. Any of that stuff could quite literally be perpetrated on us as fake, and we would not really know if the technology that they're using is so far ahead of what we are experiencing. So we look at the funny deep fakes and we think, well, that's a fake. I can tell. That person's not real. Has 6 fingers on their hand. But what if they keep doing this to the point where 2 years from now, we can't really tell? Well, that means that what we thought was a real crime scene will now be considered a not real crime scene, but maybe the crime scene is real. So we can't discern what's real from unreal. And the reason that this is scary is that that's when deep state usually steps in and says, since everything is fake and we can't tell fake from non-fake, we have to step in to tell you what's real. So you're going to have to trust us. And meanwhile, we will have to limit the way people upload videos, information, stories, news, journalism, opinions, and dissent. And then it's controlled by the state. So the state will tell you it's real, but we really won't know. And these are the dangerous precedents that are set by these fakey music things. I don't care about the music stuff. That's tertiary compared to that type of, thing. We're heading into very dangerous waters. With banks failing, adding to the fray, it just points more and more towards the state taking over things like banks, journalistic institutions, that type of thing, and basically controlling everything we see. And as Brian George says on Facebook, we've been doing that with the government for decades, unfortunately. You're right, though. And Wendy says Tucker Carlson, although I don't know what that's in reference to, but whether you like him or hate him, think about this. Tucker Carlson is nothing compared to a deep state, deep fake funded, controlled opposition to the fake Rachel Maddow that will come next. And you'll have these two talking heads that we're supposed to trust because they're the arbiters of truth. And we'll do it because we won't have a choice. And that's the problem. We are losing the ability to choose. So this isn't like, to me, this isn't like a simple issue. So yeah, Wendy says, I saw something earlier using his voice. Exactly. Can you imagine when you can't tell it apart? That's where the danger is. So, I once asked AI what it thought about a centralized digital currency, and it was all for it. It couldn't find a flaw. It brought up the flaw. Like I asked it, like, what do you think would be the result of a centralized digital currency? And it told me that it would do good for the world because then everybody would use the same money. It was such a childlike response because I kept pushing and I kept asking, well, what about countries that don't use the same currency or whose economic background is very different than the United States? Who determines which countries decide who's going to take over and have the centralized CDBC? And its answer was, I would, because I would be impartial. Maya asks, is this the same one that told you it was a demon? No, that one was worse. No, it's the few times that I've played around with OpenAI and GPT-3 and 4. But 3 told me all this. So I can't even imagine how 4 is. I only used the third generation, and it was pretty bad already. But my point is, it thinks that a centralized digital currency is the way for the world to go. And I find that downright scary because if it really was impartial, if its training truly was impartial, it would be able to really give me the pros and cons without trying to sell it to me. And instead, it's selling me on it. It's saying how convenient it will be. How, for example, a thief can't rob me because the minute I lose that phone and it's not me that's holding the phone, I would know to turn it off so that they can't buy anything with it. Sounds great, But when I bring up, well, what about if there's dissent against you or the government? What if there's true dissent and the people aren't happy with such an approach? He basically said, or it said, I just turn off the money. Therefore, people don't eat. So, it's a weird situation. So this is another reason, by the way, why years ago I was drawn into crypto. I was drawn into crypto because of the decentralized aspect of it. I didn't want anyone to control my money for me. And this is when the talk of central banking stuff was really minuscule. Like nobody was really talking about it. But I sensed that in the future, things were going to be very different. And I thought, there's no way that I would want this to happen. In fact, I'll play a song and then I'll come back and I'll share a video with you guys that you can, well, just look on my Twitter. I posted it. A video that I posted 15 years ago. Just watch that video and tell me where you think we are in that timeline. But anyway, it was a big concern to me. So it hasn't been, my week started off fantastic in that I finished the book. The Hope book is done now and it's going to go off to manufacturing. All that stuff is good. All good news. But this aspect of it really got to me this week. You know, Ursel says, we already have legal fakes. Right, the legal ones. James Earl Jones gave his blessing for his voice to be used in Star Wars future projects. We will see Sean Connery as James Bond again when his estate burns through their inheritance and they sell his rights. I agree with you. So that's the problem. We're allowing it. And in allowing it, that's where we end up. So, you know, we're heading towards, yeah, Liam, I agree with you. We're heading towards somewhere between the Terminator and the Matrix. No shit, we are. There's no doubt in my mind. I've never thought we would see such a thing, but we are. So it isn't an easy thing to navigate. But as insofar as my own creativity or my job, nah, I'm not worried at all. I have no fear of it in that sense. But anyway, I'm going to play a song and then I'm going to get into some crypto things that are important to me with regards to AI. This one's a funny one. It'll be a shorty. Oh, God. You guys are funny. Robotnik. So songs that have or have to do with robots, if you haven't figured it out yet. Thank you. Mark Valenzuela says, amazing show tonight, Claude. Thank you. Ira, super chat, 10 bucks. Thank you for that. That does help. See, I'm not out of a job yet. I made 10 bucks. I'm kidding, but no, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chats, everyone. Thank you. Sometimes I don't see them because the stream chat goes by so fast because it's showing me everything from all the different places, so it's hard to keep up with it. But thank you. I'm glad I caught that one, Ira. Fun, but all the scary stuff. Yes, it is. It is. So, okay. So I got into crypto years and years ago, but I didn't buy anything until 2020. 2020 was a decisive time for me when I decided to finally dig in to the stuff I'd been studying for years. And I thought, this is the time. I need to do it now. So I was drawn to it because I thought anything that's decentralized not only means to have my own financial freedom, because that's what it means, but it means that I'm able to store a digital or have a digital store of value. So, you know, so I'm going to use the example of Bitcoin and Tezos, even though I have different cryptocurrencies. But you guys who follow me know that Bitcoin I talk about a lot and Tezos I talk about a lot because of the art stuff. So I'm going to get into those for a minute. And then I'll play another song. I own my own wallet and my keys. So therefore, I can decide what I spend my money on. AI and the governments don't like this. They never have. Just like physical cash under a mattress, unless someone comes knocking on my door to try to take it, they don't know I have it. They really don't. I mean, they may know, but obviously they know. What I'm getting at is they can't take it from me. They can't stop it because my wallet interacts with other people's wallets and digital contracts. It cannot stop me. However, let's consider AI's version of crypto versus, let's say, Tezos as a rudimentary example. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. So yeah, using Tezos, I could spend my money on anything I want. I could mint things. I could design posters. I could do music, all these kinds of things. From my wallet to yours, we interact. And if I wanted to start some sort of movement, I could take donations in Tezos. I could also donate to organizations that way, or Bitcoin. One of the two, doesn't matter. However, the financial inflow and outflow is controlled by me. I control it. It would be the equivalent of me having, let's say, $10,000 under a mattress. I decide how I'm going to spend it. It's safe, safer than the bank at this point. And unless someone came to steal it, I know where it is. I could find it. I could use it. The minute you turn this over to AI, the minute AI says, I am so super convenient that I not only know the stuff that you like to buy, I can suggest it. And if you really want it, I can even buy it for you. This is how good I am. We already use it to turn off lights, pick music, do all sorts of things in our homes. So the next step is I can manage your finances. I could actually take money from one bank to different institutions to make you more sound investments. I can micro invest and make you some money. And of course, people will see this, make a little bit of money and think, yeah, go ahead, do it again. Do it. And it's all fine and dandy until that person has a dissenting thought. And when that person has a dissenting thought and the AI can detect it, it's going to say, hey, you're going against narrative. You're going against party line. And when I say party line, I don't mean Democrat or Republican. I mean AI party line. When it says you're going against party line, I think I need to stop you from buying these particular books because they're not good for you. So now I just can't buy them. It won't let me. And if there's no physical cash anymore, and if there's no more plastic credit cards, because those might be deemed unworthy of keep making because there won't be a need for them if we have our phones, it's you do as we say, or you don't have money to spend. You do socially what we say, or you don't have money to spend. You create the art that is allowed, or you don't have money to spend. We take your food, we take your livelihood, we take the abilities away from you to function in our society because that's the way we function now. And then it becomes scarier than just, quote, AI Drake or AI Kanye. Yeah, as Mai says, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Sorry, Todd. Angry storms are ruining my fun here. You mean you're having real storms out there? So, this is my worry, is that this is happening so fast that we're focused on the deep fakes of the entertainment world as a look over there kind of thing. Entertain yourselves with this. Ask it questions. Let it make art for you. Let it make all these financial decisions, to the point where we are, as Claudio mentioned earlier, AI obese, where we can't get enough of it. And so therefore, when it suggests I should run your money for you, most people are going to say, sure. I already saw a video that is only a few days old where a 20-something saying, I have a chip in my wrist. It's free. I didn't have to pay for it, and I can do everything with it. Check my email, pay for things, and this is a brand new video. Bear in mind, I made the video about the chip stuff 15 years ago, and yet here's a commercial for it today. Again, it's going to make me feel safer. I can pay for stuff. I can even invest things. This is crazy stuff, man. And I don't think it's going to end well. So, you know, I think we've crossed the line, and I don't think we can back from the line. What we can do, though, is safeguard ourselves by at least safeguarding some form of what's the word I want? Digital store of value, so that if something like that were to happen, at least I have certain monies, certain things that I can access that are not in the system or part of it. It's the only way, because if we don't do it, everything will be in the system. So decentralization is more important now than it was for me in 2020. It's definitely more important than it was in 2021. It's definitely more important than it was in 2022. I think we've come to that point where we really need to start thinking about these decentralized aspects of money. You know, you can tell it really hit me this week. You can tell that it's not like I'm not my normal cheery self. And it's because it got to me. I understood that there is no stopping it. There is only us having a separate form of system around it that can't be stopped. And they know this. This is why they're waging war against crypto. That's why you have like Senator, what is her name? Elizabeth Warren trying to like stop crypto. She doesn't like it because you can't control it. Things that you can't control, the government will not like. So, and I think of it like, what's that guy's name? Jim Cramer? Is that the guy's name? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. The guy that always predicts things and people make fun of him. Like if he says don't buy Bitcoin, everybody says go out and buy Bitcoin. Whenever he says the banks are okay, everybody worries that the banks are going to actually crash. Do you know who I'm talking about? Is his name Jim Cramer? I think it is. I think it is Jim Cramer that I'm thinking of. But I kind of look at her in the same light. The minute she says Bitcoin is dangerous, I think, no, Bitcoin must be an answer, and she doesn't like it because this is where we're at. Ira says, yeah, Kramer, do the opposite. I believe that all of these people that come up and say stuff like Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, or it's dangerous and it's only for criminals. Everyone that's saying that is literally saying, no, that kind of money is for free people. We have to stop them from being free. That's how I see it. I literally see, it's almost as if I'm wearing weird glasses and I can see that on the screen. It's like, I want your freedom and I'm going to take it from you. This is what I see. So anyway, I'm going to play a song and then I'll open up the phone line. I promise. Another song about robots.
us in a freak show. Well, they hang us to dry. Our society has turned sour. They can break us all if they want, and if we let them try. 1, 3, 5, 4, you just have to see. What you mean to me is the sound of loneliness gone dry. 1, 3, 5, 4, count the stars. Give a little bit, invade my heart. This is how we get to live forever. 1, 3, 5, 4, don't pretend. Yes, I really think our love won't end. This is why we get to live forever. Wow! Who can judge who you love? 'Cause when you love, you won't be judged. Who can judge who you love? When you love, you won't be judged. Who can judge who you love? 'Cause when you love, you can't be judged. Who can judge who you love? 'Cause when you love, you won't be judged. Who can judge who you love? When you love, you can't be judged. Who can judge who you love? When you love, you won't be judged. Program your soul.
Program your soul. Phone lines open if someone wants to call in and add to the fray, as it were. And you can ask me anything. I believe I unmuted it. Yes, I did. So now I will hear it when it comes through. And yeah, feel free to call in. But meanwhile, I'll just continue talking. So, one thing that did happen this week that was good, because it was look, it's a bit of a downer. I get it. I felt it. I kept thinking, like, how much time do we have before, we have to really think about this? But then I remembered I have my crypto. I have Bitcoin. I have Tezos. I have a bunch of stuff, Ether, all this stuff. It's not going away. They're going to have to work around these systems. And what they're trying to do, when I say they, I'm referring to deep state people. What they're trying to do is basically get as many people on board the new system as possible, because they know that once it's too late, they won't be able to have a solution. So those people will be, I hate to say it this way, they'll be asked out of Bitcoin. They won't be able to do Ether. They won't be able to do Tezos. But those that already have it, you already have it. So it's like gold. If you already have it, you don't have to give it up. There's no one's going to come try to take it from you. So, and you can always move somewhere else. So that's another interesting aspect of the Bitcoin thing, Because people say, well, if the dollar collapses, Bitcoin collapses. No, it doesn't. Bitcoin is a store of value, which means if the dollar collapses and it gets taken over by something else, whatever it happens to be, Bitcoin can now trade against that. I have that power. That's why decentralized finance is so frowned upon, is that you can decide what you're going to trade against. You don't have to deal with dollars if you don't want to. And by the way, I am not one of those people that wants the dollar to fail. I'm not one of those people. I live in the United States. I quite like it. So it's not that I'm, looking at that as a real thing. I don't want it to fail. However, I have to admit that if it does, I need a safeguard for me and mine, just like I would want it for you and yours. So to me, that safeguard is to get yourself into some decent crypto. Start learning. This is the time. I was less urgent about it before, especially in 2020 and 2021. We were dealing with a pandemic, so that wasn't the time. But now I feel it's almost imperative that we do something, because if we don't start designing our new systems now, we will have no systems at all. Nobody called yet. And then it might be because you don't see it. So let's see. That's the number. And it's all good if you don't call, because it's all good. I still have songs. So what didn't we play? Okay, yeah, we played that one. Sorry. I'm like cleaning up my screen here. Yeah, we played that too. Okay. So anyway, I'm not afraid of the machine taking my job. Liam says, what if AI stole or blocked your Bitcoins? Actually, it can't. It can't do it. It could try to block the transactions, but that's where internet and IP stuff comes in. Unless it gets so ingrained into our system that we have no internet access, that would be the only way that it could stop it. But in that case, I would say that all of us are screwed. There would be no way to get out of it. But think about countries that are going to be running on Bitcoin. El Salvador already is. They had interesting news this week, by the way. Their credit rating as a country went up by 3 full points. And they have to, whatever the governmental world agency that deals with this has to acknowledge that they've erased their national debt. And they're going to have a surplus of money that they're going to announce in the next couple of days. So there's going to be a big shakeup when other countries start looking into Bitcoin and saying, you know what, this is better money. So I don't know that AI could stop it. At least I'm hoping that isn't the case. Ira says, I wonder if all the people being allowed to enter the US illegally will be the first ones to get digital dollars. They wouldn't know any better and they would be happy to use it. Absolutely. And this is the problem. If that happens, everyone else who is not using it is going to complain about these things that they're not getting. So, yeah. And Liam says, interesting. By the way, everyone should be using a VPN with their phones. I don't, but I plan on it. Shame on me, but I don't. But I definitely am going to, that's funny, Liam. There needs to be a live ABOX show that we can attend, call it the end of the world coming show. No, hopefully not. I prefer to think that, that's not the case, but to answer a question, or a comment that was up there that I lost because it scrolls so fast. Man, I can't even find it now. Wow. Holy cow, it's scrolling so fast. That's actually a cool thing. It means there's a lot of you on tonight, and that's awesome. thank you for that. Thank you for being on and being here with me. It makes me feel good, despite my having a sour mood. Remember, this is live, so it's not one of those things where it's scripted and I can get to like, oh, put on the makeup, get the lights, and everybody smiles, and then the camera's cut, and then the person's all like, ugh. When I feel, I am. So, and it's not a total loss. I had a really good week in the end, despite all this stuff, which was that I decided to dig further into the music, and I went back to the new album and some EP stuff I was working on, and I wound up going back in and doing some mixing, which is why I wanted to kind of redo the room, and then I decided I'd better not because I'm on a roll. So, at any rate, let me show you something that's almost done, so that we don't like just keep talking about like dark stuff the whole time. Look at this. Ooh, it's almost there. All the tracks are in. It's happening. The 30th anniversary. It's almost time. It's almost time to announce the pre-orders and all that. It's almost time. So it is happening. And I found some cool stuff to add to it. So it's going to be awesome. I have one page to rework on the book itself, which is important because I found a bunch of stuff that I don't want to miss out on. So I had to go back and fix one page, but I uploaded all the 24-bit files this week into Bandcamp. I uploaded all the stuff that needed to be done for the CD to be manufactured, so that's happening. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange thing. So by next week, the pre-order should be able to start. So I'm happy about that. I was able to work on things, and I was able to go back because I'm done with the Hope stuff. And once I set it in motion, I won't have to do much for it other than to help promote it. I can start going back to the album I was working on, which I definitely want to finish. I heard it again yesterday and I was like, I really like this. I like where this is going. So, there's still 2 hours left on Bandcamp Friday. That's right. But yeah, that's not ready for prime time yet. So don't look for it. You won't see it. It's still in private mode because I have to do some stuff. But as you can see from the screenshot that I just shared, it is happening. So, but again, going back to the earlier conversation, it was a bit of a downer and it took me down a few notches because I was like, why am I doing this? Will it matter? And the truth is, I don't know. But I know that not having the book in my hand for myself or doing the record, that's not the answer. That's definitely not the answer. So if the answer is, should I not create things because AI is going to do it and this is what's happening and the world's going to blow up and it's going to take over everything? And, even if that were so, I would still want to make marks on paper and I would still want to record stuff. And I would still be playing a violin or a piano or drums or whatever I would have to play in the ruins of whatever city I found myself in, avoiding the AI robots trying to find me and kill me. I would still play music. I would still play music. So, and I would still make pictures. I would still take pictures with my camera. It's not going to stop me from doing stuff. So I am not quitting. I'm not going to be one of those people that puts out those videos that says, I'm quitting. I'm not doing that. So anyway, I'm going to play a song. Nobody called. That's okay. I guess nobody wanted to. No one wanted to speak to me tonight. It's okay. But anyway, another song about robots. We're coming towards the end.
Isolation, 99. Is there nothing so just divine? Are you
all songs about robots. That's what I'm playing. They have to do with robots or robots in the lyrics or some, haha. My says, I talk to my plants. That's not too far fetched. I talk to spiders. Yeah, I do. I do. But I can see that being like, funny. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. But yeah, we're getting close to that end. But just in case someone calls, but we are the robots in case. But yeah, so I guess the takeaway here is not that I want to like say, oh my God, the sky is falling. It could be. It could very well be. My feeling is let's start doing things in our own lives that enrich our lives and try to figure out ways of not always having to rely on such technology to the point where this is all we know. Remember that every time you talk to it, it's taking from you. So that's just my viewpoint. You don't have to agree, but that's my viewpoint. So I will probably not be talking to or dealing with ChatGPT at all. Like my feeling of it is to just, I'm not going to deal with it. I prefer to find my own techniques, find my own art, define my own music. And if weird fakes show up with me singing on it, oh well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to worry about it. It's not something that I should worry about. I'll keep doing what I do. So that's my take, my very long 2-hour take on that subject. And I'm going to have my own programmable money so that if such things happen, I can survive in whatever system I decide to float into. Who knows? Maybe I'll be one of those weird artists floating around, like roaming around in a van, touring for random folks and getting paid for it in only Bitcoin. Maybe that's my future. I don't know. But it's somewhat exciting in a weird way. Anyway. No one called, playing a song. So I'm down to 2. So or 3. I don't know. Here's another song about robots.
Cycles all around. The Delta 2000 Fed is on the ground. Depression, regression, feels like the dream's been sold out. A revolution, shoot up the satellites. Communication breakdown now goes on. Mother watches her son die on TV. The satellite feeds war like an enemy. Who won the Oscars and why should you care less? Talk about the lost one, blood is sped. I see it, I breathe it, the death and decay.
Yeah, 2007, right as the 2008 crisis was beginning, was when that record was put together. So we were facing really strange times then. And so I remember all the weird things that I was looking into at that time, and I I hate to say it, but all of it has come true. So as much as people want to like put down the tinfoil hats, telling you, man, they know a lot more than you think. I think it's time to start paying attention because there's a lot of strange things happening here. Uh, and Brian George on Facebook says, cheers, folks. Great discussion of a topic that has no clear answers. It doesn't. However, yes, I agree. Cover your assets how you feel is best for you and not the government. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. However you feel it's safe. Um, you know? Ah, yes. Misdirection indeed, my friend Claudio. So take care, Brian. But yeah, it's like it's a time to be cautious, but at the same time, it's a time to forge new paths. And I think it's time to really evaluate the systems that we have around us and decide if that's what we want. Yes, ridicule. Ah, I see. Yes. In fact, it is well, you can do a whole FOIA request from the CIA about ridiculing tinfoil hats. Believe me, there's a lot there. There's a lot I don't say. But yes, it is a time for action. It's no longer like a thing that we can put off because we have a new species that has entered the building and is now a player. And you know, so at any rate, so this is where we're at. So anyway, getting to, again, a more positive way of ending this, it was a concern. There are concerns still. However, navigating forward means finding new paths to take that are untrodden, and that means opening up more creativity out of myself. So for me, I think that that's going to be uh, to just immerse myself in more music, more art, more creative endeavors, more than ever, and perhaps having to find new ways to cover my assets, as Brian had said. Ah, Liam says I tried to call but didn't work. Maybe it didn't work this time. I don't know. Well, we will make sure that we get the phone lines working next week because it seems like it should have worked. Oh, it looks like someone tried. That's weird. I did not hear anything this time. I will have to investigate this as to why it didn't work. But maybe next week. Next week is hopefully I have really, really good news next week, and the whole book is under full manufacturing. It's an interesting experiment that I'm about to undertake with that one and the album. But at least now I get to work on the album full force, which is something I've really been wanting to do. I tried to work on both at the same time. It was not that simple. But the other day when I was working on the mastering for the CD version of the Hope album, I found myself going back to old mixes of the record I am working on and NEP and quite digging where I was taking things. So good stuff ahead. So at least I'm happy that I've got some good stuff ahead. So anyway, I'm going to start closing out, but got two more left, I think. Yeah, I do actually. So I'm going to play. Well, we're going to have an episode that's dedicated to the Hope album for sure. For sure, when the book is out, maybe even a listening session, which should be fun because I don't have any problem with people listening to it with me. and giving me comments. So I think maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do a listening session when the book arrives, for sure. But as Mark says, I'm gonna keep going until midnight. Right. No, I wish I could. But here, let's play another song about robots.
I can see, although the future isn't free. I give in, you gave out, and this robot inside of my head, he's frightened. I watch these lines stretch out to 10, falling from the ice beneath your skin. You will happy. I survive, you survive, we will all survive. I can feel. There's always moments you can't heal. I don't want to go on, this is vain, this is wrong. Why are you still frightened? If you can hold me till the end, I will always call you friend. Just sense the pain. I survive, you survive, we will all survive. When California falls in the ocean,
I get to finish on time, which is a good thing, considering I didn't have my drink. I didn't have my drink today. Like, that sucks. I didn't have the iced tea. I didn't have wine. Oh well. So, what is this? I'm seeing something, but I don't know what it is. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice. Haha, record store day. That's interesting. I will look that up, Brian. Um, ooh, I know. No iced tea, no wine. I can't even give you the send off the way I want. Just goes to show you where my head was at. I didn't even think of that. So, anyway, I hope that we all took something from this. I hope that we will look into it further. And I totally welcome your opinions and comments. So when this gets published, please comment. Please give me your opinion on it. I want to know what you think about this topic, where it's going, where it's headed. And if you're an insider and you want to discuss it outside of the realm of public discussion, feel free to email me and DM me. I'm willing to listen. So anyway, have yourselves an amazing weekend. I'm going to play one more and that'll take us out. And I thought about two different ones that I could play. Aw, thank you. Thank you for that. I have, well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Brian. Really, thank you. I'm humbled. The honor is mine, man. Thank you. Well, I'm going to leave you with not quite like an up song, but not quite a down song. But anyway, I'm gonna leave you with well, you'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna put on the moon as usual because that's usually what ends everything, right? The moon. We'll see if it spins tonight. Ooh, it's spinning already. Good. That's a good sign. But we have to discuss these dystopian issues. We have to, because we are living in that future where it's no longer far away. So, as the song says, anyway.
Welcome to the end. The universe expands. Everyone is glad as the sun descends, and your self-esteem comes back from where it's been. We are all indebted to everything it brings. You know how everything is connected and reflected now.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?